This is the How to Trade It podcast. We talk about the real stories behind successful traders. You will learn the strategies that the best traders use in today's markets. And we get those experts to show us how to trade it. Hey everyone, this is Casey Stubbs for the next episode of How to Trade It, the show where we teach you how to trade, and it's our goal to help you accomplish your dreams and your goals in trading. And today I'm really pumped up to be here with Kevin Pyne from the Trading Buddy system. Thanks for being on the show, Kevin.
That's my pleasure, Casey. Thanks for having me.
So the way I always start is I want to get to know you a little bit and want our audience to get to know you. How did you get started with trading?
Well, I was actually just a phone at Invest Tools, Investor Education, and I was there when TD Ameritrade came and bought them for Think or Swim. And I just saw lots of people spending $20,000 for education. And I'm like, well, what is this? And like, well, I might as well give myself a $20,000 pay raise and go through the whole education because as an employee, I got it for free. And I went through all the core stock, options, futures, forex, and I really grabbed hold of futures and just started with a basic paper trading and just fell in love with it. And just the idea that, hey, I could obtain some financial freedom if I learned how to do this.
So you were trading while also working at Invest Tools?
Yeah, they encouraged to learn the craft, learn the product, and to be better salesmen. But I grabbed hold of it as, you know what, this is actually what I want to do. It's an introvert's absolute dream to stay in front of a computer, not talk to people on the phone, and just make money clicking a button. So
Yeah, that's true. That's one of the big draws, I think, because you don't have to talk to anybody, you don't have to have a boss and all that. It's very attractive. Can be lonely though.
It can. And that's why I think a lot of traders reach out, try to help other traders and build communities that way. So it can be a lonely business, but in many ways, it's a tight-knit group as well.
How did you get started as far as your success rate? Like you said that you were going through the training, you were doing it on the side. How did you take to it initially? Was it successful or did you really struggle with it at first? How did that go for you?
Well, actually, I had pretty good success day trading the Russell 2000 E-minis. I didn't have a lot of capital, and so it wasn't anything to write home about, but it was just really confidence building that, hey, I could figure this out. But to tell you, my very first live trade, I paper traded like anybody else and thought I was going to quit my job within 3 months, right? Because I did really well. And then my first live trade, I lost $200. It was less than 2% of my capital. And I about cried all the way home. I was so devastated to lose real money. I had no idea of the psychological and emotional impact that would have had on a person. I just wasn't prepared for it. But I realized it's just money and I can make it back. And just that approach, I think, really helped me just keep planning ahead. And really, I spent 2-3 years day trading futures. And it wasn't until I switched to a swing strategy that fit my personality better. I didn't even realize it until I saw the success. So it was really switching, my circumstances changed for work and health-wise. I had to kind of slow down my trading and I need to learn a different style. And I learned from Larry Williams' swing courses and that my results took off from there. And I knew that I could make this a profession, which was my desire from the get-go. It's like what Christopher Reeve, the guy that played Superman, he said that at first our dreams seem impossible, but if we summon the will, they soon become improbable and then inevitable. And so that's the way it was for me. At first it was like, this is going to be impossible, but I'll just give it a shot. And then it was, hey, this could work, but I don't know how probable it is. And then all of a sudden it got to the point where it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, right? It's inevitable.
I like that quote. I am writing that down. I'm going to use that. That's really good. Thank you for sharing that.
I think I butchered it, but that's what it is. At first our dreams seem impossible, then they seem improbable. And then if we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. So
yeah. And so how did you make that transition from being improbable to inevitable?
I think it just took a lot of time. I mean, as you know, and you talking to lots of traders, every trader has devastating losses or experiences that they have to learn. And I had my fair share. I was doing really well with Larry Williams and I got in a very good position financially. And then I got overconfident. I didn't even realize it, that I was overconfident. I just psychoanalyzed myself and what happened, and it wasn't like anything really devastating, but it threw off my mojo for a while. And there was one time I was so confident that I was right that I took off a stop and I ended up losing, I think it was 30% of my account. And I was just like, holy cow. And like overnight, it was a gold futures, a black swan event with the Japanese federal. It was like yesterday, I can remember it. But anyway, that kind of woke me up to say, there's more to this than just thinking that you've got it figured out. And I had to kind of come to grips with some other things about the positive emotions, not just the negative emotions. The discouragement is the negative side, the despair, the anxiety, the panic that you have when you're losing money. But if you're overconfident and you have this euphoria, that's just as damaging. It blinds you just as much as discouragement does. And I had to learn that side too. And once you start to get into the right mindset of trading is not just your individual trade, it's a series of trades. It's a process. It's not the outcome. You don't control the markets. You only control your process. Your trading becomes so much more easy. And I have found that as soon as my trading became boring, where it was boring to look for my setups and wait for trades, that's when my results became exciting. So make your trading boring.
Yeah, I'd rather be bored. The ups and the downs. The euphoria is nice, but it always comes with a crash. Always.
It does.
And then you have the big cycle. So then you're on cloud 9 and then you're down in the pits and you have to deal with both of those. But now you don't really go through those anymore, do you?
No, I talk with my traders that I work with and I call them my trading buddies because I learn from them too. I mean, just yesterday, I learned a new indicator that one of my traders uses. I'm like, I really like that thing. I may test that out. But one of the things I talk about is I still have my ups and downs. But if you think about the emotions of an amplitude wave, like a sound wave or a light wave, our emotions are the same way. You can't get rid of emotions in trading. It's just impossible. Thoughts create emotions, and any stimulus into our brains causes a reaction, and we're going to feel some emotion. But what we can do is we can habituate, that actual psychological term, habituation. We can habituate ourselves and acclimate ourselves to stimuli and to the market doing what we don't expect and manage our emotions and use our emotions. That's the emotional EQ, right? Where we perceive our emotions, we understand what we're feeling, what emotions, and then we use them. We manage them and use them. So if I'm starting to feel anxiety in my trading, immediately I'm like, I'm trading too much size. I need to reduce my position size, or I need to just get out. And then that anxiety subsides, and then I can see clearly, okay, this is where I'm going to have my stop, and I'm okay losing this amount. Or if I start to feel overconfident, I need to take a break. I need to remind myself of some nasty losses when I got overconfident, and I bring myself down. So the amplitude still moves, but I keep it within an equilibrium, I call it. An emotional equilibrium where, hey, it's good to be cautious. It's good to have a little bit of fear in the market. You have to have the fear of losing money or you'll be reckless. So use that fear, but don't be overcome by the fear. Have a healthy amount of fear to remind you, hey, I need to trade with a stop. I need to make sure I plan this trade and stick to my plan. And so using emotions is not talked about in the industry. I mean, control your emotions, get rid of your emotions. Yeah, that's great. But I find that using my emotions helps me become a better trader. Emotional awareness really is what I'm saying. If I'm feeling and I recognize that I'm overconfident or discouraged, I know what to do. I know how to manage that. And then when emotions are low, that logic and reasoning goes back to where I need it to be. And I can see clearly what's going on in the market.
So Kevin, when you first started to learn to trade from where you are now, what was it that drew you in to be doing what you're doing now? Like, what was it that really got you excited, and why do you do what you do?
Well, I mean, I could tell you the day. It was September 20th, 2010, when I wrote in my journal that I'm going to be a professional commodities trader, and whatever it takes, however long it takes, that's what I want to do. It's mostly because of the freedom. I'm not really money motivated. I was a horrible salesman in my previous jobs because they would just motivate with you money. And I'm like, I'm not motivated by money. I want the freedom. And me being with my family and my wife and my kids, and that's the motivation for me, is I'm going to do whatever it takes. And so I've always been just, whenever I hit an obstacle, I'm like, well, this is just the next step. And I've been plenty of times, I could probably name 5 or 6 times where I've been curled up in the corner in the fetal position, crying my guts out because I'm like, I can't do this, But you just keep going. And what I tell my traders is I'm no more special than you. I have no more special abilities or knowledge than you have. I just want it more. I want it bad. And I've done what it takes. I've put in the work. I've sacrificed time watching sports and playing video games and all those things I used to do as a college kid, whatever. But I've just put in the work and just stayed excited. I've kept that vision. I've heard some of your podcasts before of other people saying that. Know the reason why. Keep that vision ahead of why you're doing it. And that's been in the forefront. Anytime it's been a struggle, my why is bigger than the obstacle.
Okay, that's a great answer. And I want to encourage the people that are listening. Kevin knows why he does what he does, and it gets him through the difficult times because they're going to be there. And so just remember that. I always try to remember why I do what I do, because trying to accomplish your goals, it usually doesn't look good. If you look at the current situation, it looks bad. Things are bad right now. But when you remember your why, it helps you push through. That's really excellent. I have heard that the number of people that don't survive in the trading world is pretty high. And I don't think there's really any way to get accurate statistics because there just isn't. But there's numbers flying around anywhere from 90 to 95% of the people don't make it. What would you say to someone who's thinking about it, since there is such a high turnover, a high failure rate? What would you say to them? Should they try it? And what type of people really should go for this?
I've had people ask me that very thing, hey, should I try this out? And I've had people come over to my house. I've had old colleagues, hey, I saw this forex course. I was going to give it a shot. And I said, I really encourage you to give it a shot, but I'll just warn you right now, if you're not 100% in, it requires a lot of work. It's not easy. As simple as it seems, it's the hardest easy thing you'll do. Right? If you have big enough why and big enough desire, then no obstacle will seem too big, like I said before. But if you're just treating it like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results. And you might as well just write me a check for your account that you're going to trade with, because you're just going to give it away. And you might as well give it away to someone you know and you love, right?
Not the big brokers.
Yeah. But I just say it's so much fun. It's so worth the effort that I put into it. But it does require a lot of effort. And so if you're willing to put in that effort, I will be here anytime. I've worked pro bono so much, just giving my time without any expectation just to help people, because I know that if they want it bad enough, then they'll keep coming back. And there's some people that just don't come back. There was one guy that went through 6 months of studying, and he was just like, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be just like Kevin. And he was bragging to everybody at work, this is what I'm doing on copper futures. And he was just focusing on copper futures, doing pretty well. He put in 20 grand in real money. He lost one trade and he couldn't handle it. He quit. And I'm like, that's fine. Don't feel bad about that. You've learned some about yourself, but it just goes to show not everyone's cut out for this, and that's okay. But it requires a lot of work, and it's worth it. It's worth the work.
Introducing the Finance and Markets newsletter, a unique type of newsletter designed to inspire you to make sound financial decisions. Stories of successful people who overcame tremendous struggles will impress and motivate you to never give up on your financial and personal lives. Sign up today and get the inspiration you need. Go to the link in this episode's description to subscribe. I just wrote down something else you said, and I'm probably going to quote you now.
Nice.
Trading is the hardest easy thing you'll ever do. Did you originate that quote? Or?
I listen to a lot of other trading podcasts. And Nicole Duke, she's up in Canada, but she's a futures trader. And she said something like that. So it's a simple thing or something like that. So I say that to my traders all the time. And just remember it. This is hard. It seems easy. And you're like, why am I not making money? Why is this not working? It seems so easy. You just sell at resistance and buy at support, follow this trend and that. Why am I not making money? Well, it's because it's the hardest easy thing you'll ever do.
So break that statement down a little bit. Why is it easy and hard at the same time? What does that even mean?
Anybody can learn to read a chart. Anybody can learn what an indicator does. In fact, most indicators are derivative of price action anyway. And so they're all telling us the same thing. Like an HMA 89 period is the same as a MACD, pretty much crossing the zero line. So lots of indicators tell us the same thing. And anybody can learn how to do that. Anybody can learn how to click buy when it's blue or green, right? And sell when it's red. But the hard thing is that you have to learn yourself. And most people aren't willing to look in the mirror and have a hard look and say, I done messed up and I was wrong. And it's hard to be able to look in the mirror and say, you're wrong. and all this analysis and time that you put into your study of this trade, then it immediately goes against you, and then you feel betrayed. And then all of a sudden you start to revenge trade because the market owes me. And let's say that you have an analysis that goes against you and you get scared. So you take the loss and then it goes your direction. And then you're mad that you were right, but you lost money. There's nothing more frustrating in trading than being right and still losing money. And so to segue into what I'm going to share with you with what I do is the question that really helped me with my trading was, how can I learn how to make money even if I'm wrong? Let's flip that on its head. I hate losing money when I'm right. So what if I just flip that on its head and try to make money when I'm wrong? Couldn't I do that? And so just starting to think in that way has helped me develop a nice system that helps me be more consistent. Doesn't help me be perfect, but again, I don't have to be perfect to be profitable. So
yeah, that's another good quote.
And so really, I digress. To answer your question, it's hard because there's a lot of variables that are involved. You look at a chart, hey, this is easy, this should be easy, but then you have to manage yourself. And we spend more time trying to analyze what moved the market and no time analyzing what moved you to do what you did. And so there's a lot of variables, but when it comes down to it, if you're willing to put the work and put in the time, it's just like any profession. You think about a surgeon, they put in years and years of school and practice to learn how to scalp a person. If I need to learn how to scalp the market, I need to put more than just 3 months into this.
Yeah. And just in thinking of it, it's the reason why I love trading, because you have to master yourself.
Yeah.
And it's also the reason why I hate trading. It's because you have to master yourself.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Kind of funny. It's just like the last comment. It's true on both sides. It's kind of like a paradox.
You have to confront yourself. But I absolutely agree, Casey. I love trading because it's not just about the money for me. It's a way for me to develop discipline, patience, having faith in something, taking a leap. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I have so much uncertainty about this trade or about my own trading abilities. And then that thrill of victory is just phenomenal. Being able to look back and say, I left Fidelity and the steady paycheck. I say that in quotations because a lot of people have that security with their paycheck, but no job is secure.
That's true.
Especially in these days with the COVID-19. And so when I left 3 years ago, it was kind of scary, but we just stuck to our process. And I have to say this, another reason how I've been able to do this is I have a spouse. I have a wonderfully supportive wife that understands why I'm doing it too. She has the same goals. And when I'm not feeling in the right place, she reminds me why we're doing this. And that is, I can't overestimate the value of having a supportive partner in that regard, of someone who believes in me and is willing to go through the famines as well as the feasts, right? Because trading is more feast and famine than a steady paycheck.
Right.
So she's been with through the famines as well.
Wow, that's really good. Let's take a little transition here. You've been filling us up with some really good stuff, so I thank you for that. Enjoyed it greatly. I want to talk a little bit about your system, because you talked about a few things that piqued my interest. You said you were in swing trading. You learned from Larry Williams. Both those things are interesting. And then the last thing you said that really interested me was you make money when you lose. So if you could dive into those things a little bit, I kind of like that. Or no, you didn't say you make money when you lose. You said you make money when you're wrong.
When I'm wrong, right.
Okay.
So my mantra is this: I day trade by day and I swing trade by night. And this is the reason why I think of trading as like multiple streams of income. If I can have 4 or 5 strategies that I've mastered over the years, then if one of them's working and one of them's not, at different times of the year, I've had certain option strategies that have been bringing in income, because all my trading is pretty much my income. And then there are things that I do on the long-term side, but I have some strategies. Some of my day trading works out to be my income, and then some of my swing trading. And so I'm a day trader by day, a swing trader by night, and it's developed. I've had a couple of systems, a day trading strategy that I learned from a coach at Invest Tools. The Russell 2000 I've been doing since 2013. And it's just a simple wait for the first 15 minutes of the open and then draw a channel, the first 15-minute channel, and then Fibonacci extensions on either side. And then whatever side it breaks to, just trade to the extension. And it works out. It's been working out for years. That's just a simple thing. But the great thing is as I've learned more money management principles, and mostly from my time at Apiary Fund, watching a brilliant trader in Sean Lucas. He is one of the best traders I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of different traders, and he's one of the most humble. He's a multimillionaire and he doesn't flaunt any of it. He's putting money into this fund to help other traders become successful. Anyway, learning how to scalp the market. I'm not a scalper like he is, but the principles behind it is scaling in. So the swing trading, I'm kind of all over the place. The swing trading I do at night. I look at my analysis at night. I look at a daily chart. I look at a 4-hour chart. And there are certain things that I look for, but I'm really just looking at support and resistance. I'm looking at the heavy daily resistance areas and support areas. And if the market's coming to those areas, I'm buying into support resistance. That's what I look at. And the key to my trading, Casey, that's helped me, even when I'm wrong, still make money, is trading slow, meaning trading small, starting off small. And even if I'm right on the first layer that I call it, my first entry, I'm still going to make money. It may not be a huge amount, but I'm pretty much banking on the fact that I'm going to be wrong and the market's going to go against me. And then I can save some of my risk allotment for a better price. If I'm selling into resistance, it's going to go higher against me. I'll sell a little bit more. It goes higher, I'll sell a little bit more. And that way, even if I'm wrong on the resistance holding and it breaks resistance, I can get another layer. And usually 70% of the time, just playing off of probabilities, most breakouts test the breakout. And so if I can just get in at the breakout and then it comes back down and tests, I can either get out at a small profit or mitigate the loss so it's not too heavy. And then there we go. I was wrong. I thought the market was going to come down, but it ended up keep going up. But I still salvaged the trade and made money. And when that started happening, I was just like, holy cow. And it doesn't always do that. I still have losses, but I allocate my risk so it's a specific, it's almost like martingale-esque, where you add it to a losing position, which is crazy. Goes against every grain, every fiber of trading that I learned from the get-go. But if you know what you're risking beforehand, it's almost like saying, okay, I'm going to get in and put my stop here at that full lot that I'm trading and then the risk. Well, instead of using that full lot, I break it down into, say, 10 micro lots on a forex trade, or instead of one contract on futures, I break down into the 10 micros. And then I get in on 1, and then 2, then 3, then 4, and that's 10 micro lots. That's a full lot. So I'm allocating the same amount of risk from the very beginning. And I'm just planning on, if the market goes against me, I'm going to save some of my risk to get in. And then if all it needs to do is just come down a little bit into that, I call it the pyramid, and back into a price cycle. And I have more options. My option, I can break even. I can get out at a small gain. I can get out at a less of a loss, rather than the option of getting in a trade. And then my only option is hope and pray that it doesn't hit my stop.
And you still have a set amount of risk that you will not exceed on that.
Yeah. And it's taken some time to get used to that. I mean, it's taken hours of practice, in demo accounts, because sometimes I just get stubborn. I'm like, okay, it's going to pull back. It's going to pull back. And this is the next resistance on a lower time frame. It's going to pull back from here. It's going to pull back from here. And then it just keeps going against me. And I keep adding. And so demoing that. But my max loss in a day is 2.5%, because I feel like I can make about 1% a day. That's what my skills on the size account that I'm trading, I can make about 1% a day. So I don't want to lose in a day more than I need to 2 to 3 days of making it back.
So if you have a losing day, it's going to take you 3 days to get back. So I don't want to have
it'll take me 10 days to get back.
Right.
That's daunting. I keep it at 2.5%. And that's been a nice sweet spot for me, because then the emotions don't take over. And then I don't feel like I'm playing catch up every time I come to the market. Even though I'm not trying to, there's still that inside, I've got to make that big loss that I had last week. I'm still trying to make it up. I'm not doing that anymore. It's just not worth it. So it's that quote that I said at the beginning, take what you can and then give nothing back. We need to learn how to be good losers, Casey. We need to learn how to lose money better. We spend so much time learning how to make money in the market. What about how to learn how to lose better? We don't know those skills. You don't practice those risk management skills as much.
Yeah, how to lose less.
Yeah. And so those are just some of the things that have caused me to look at scaling in. Really, the principle behind being wrong on your trade is a scaling in technique.
Right.
And giving yourself the option to be able to make money, even though you're initially wrong on your entry, your first, maybe second and third entries.
Cool. Well, now is the part of the show where we get to learn about how to get in touch with you and about what you're doing. So you have something called Trading Buddy System. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how people that are listening could go and find out about it?
Sure. So the website's tradingbuddysystem.com. And it comes from just the idea that you're not going to go on a dangerous hike without a buddy. And if you do, you're insane.
I'm in trouble. I just say that because I'm planning a hike right now. Not dangerous, but it's long, and I'm going to be on my own in the woods. So now I know I'm insane.
No, well, within reason. I don't mean to stereotype or anything like that. So the buddy system, like from scouting, it's like you go with the buddy. If you get lost, you have a buddy there that's lost with you. But the buddy system is with trading, it's just having a trading buddy. I've had many times where if I didn't have trading buddies to kind of help me see what was really going on within myself and within the market, I would have quit a long time ago. And so I just want to be that type of person for someone else. And yesterday it was great with one of my sessions. I shared something about a loss that I had last year. And he's like, I'm glad that you shared those things because nobody really shares their woes.
Yeah.
And to hear a professional trader share that, it makes me feel a little better. I'm like, well, I'm your trading buddy. I'm not your boss or your manager. I don't need to have any pretense. I want you to succeed. And what's helped me succeed is seeing other people have setbacks and come back from them and know that, hey, that's possible for me too. Here's another quote for you, Casey. My setbacks are setups for my comebacks. That's the way I view my setbacks. If ever I get into setbacks, it's just setting me up for another comeback.
As long as you don't quit.
As long as you don't quit.
Yeah.
And you think of any major professional athlete that is a champion, they all know how to come back from behind. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, they come back from behind. I'm not the biggest fan of LeBron James, but I love his basketball skills. And that year he brought back Cleveland against the Warriors from that 3-1 because it's that mentality. And so having a buddy to help you see that type of thing. So what I offer, I'm really just doing the one-on-one sessions right now. I've done like a weekly group mentoring and a weekly trading room. But like I said, I've been really busy with the apiary fund. I want to get back into that. I offered it in the past. But basically, if you go on there and there's like a short questionnaire on what type of trading you do and how long you've been trading and such. And if you fill that in, and I'll get an email and then I can reach out, we can have a session. Lately, I've been just giving free month of sessions just to see what we can do without any pressure of you having to spend anything. Let's just see if there's value that I can add. And if there is, and you want to continue, then we can talk about compensating me for my time. But I don't really need the money. I'm trading and I love trading. I just want to help people. And that's my desire, is to share my knowledge as much as I can. And so this has been a great opportunity, Casey. I just love helping others out any way I can. And getting out there will be helpful, I think. And the ultimate goal of the Trading Buddy system is to also train other traders to mentor, to help them, because there's a lot of traders out there that want to do the same thing. And so the buddy system is going to evolve over time into where I'm going to have a trading mentor course where I'm going to have some insights on how to be a better mentor for other traders. And then once they go through that, they can put their information on my website. We'll collaborate. And then people can come to the website and see what type of mentor they can mesh with better. And we'll just open it up to a community, a trading buddy community type thing. And it's in its infancy, so to speak. I've been working on the website a couple of years now, but like I said, I've been busy with my own trading, my family, and with Apiary Fund, but it's my baby and I see the vision and I'm just excited to help as many people as I can. And really, I can't help more than 20, 30 people at a time. And so if I'm really going to make a footprint, we got to make an opportunity where other people can help out and reach more traders. So that's the idea of having a trading buddy system, a system to connect more traders to each other.
Well, Kevin, I love it. I absolutely love it. Please, if you're listening to this, you need to go and make Kevin your trading buddy right now. Honestly, there's not even, just go do it, right? Why would you not go to his website and start working with Kevin? He really cares about people and he wants to help out as many people as possible. So
thanks, Casey.
tradingbuddysystem.com. Go there, get some help. No reason for you to struggle, not with Kevin out there.
Well, can I say something about that, Casey?
Sure.
The struggle is actually kind of necessary. The struggle is the growth. And you know that, right?
Absolutely.
That adversity.
Yeah, you're right.
Adversity is the catalyst to mental toughness. And so it's just knowing how to navigate through that struggle and having someone help you. And so if you're struggling, that's normal. Don't feel like you're not cut out for it. So that's all I'll say about that. It's a great thing if you're struggling, because that means it's going to spur you to the next level.
That's good. Well, I'm going to end it, but thank you. This was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. And I know that we're going to get tremendous feedback from this episode. So again, last call, if you're struggling, and as Kevin pointed out to me, thank you for pointing that out. It's a good thing. It means you're growing. You're going through trials and challenges. And that's the only way to grow, is outside of your comfort zone. It's the only way, by doing things that you cannot do on your own normally.
Be comfortable with that discomfort.
Right. So get out there, push yourself to the limit, and go to Trading Buddy system. And that's it for this episode. Thank you, Kevin. And we'll see you guys next time on How to Trade It. Thanks for listening to the How to Trade It podcast. Our mission is to help you create security in the markets. If you have a question you want me to ask my guests, or a specific question you have for me, please email me at podcasttradingstrategyguides.com. I answer every email I get because this show is about helping you learn how to trade it. So again, please reach me at podcast@tradingstrategyguides.com. Thank you.